Hey, church. So we're gonna follow Nehemiah for a little bit, I believe, as I'm praying. As you know, he is one of my heroes of the Old Testament. I know on Sunday I was just preaching about Hezekiah and said he's a hero of mine. He is. I have a lot of heroes in the Bible. They're amazing men of God. And I love this because as we were reading in the devotional yesterday about Nehemiah and his prayer and his ownership of what is going on, I want to touch on two things here in chapter 1. In the very first beginning of that, his writings, it says this: in late autumn, in the month of Kislev, which I'm not sure the pronunciation, forgive me, but I'm not a Hebrew major, but I know that that month falls in our calendar in November, December. So it falls into that category of time for us. Now, as you follow along in that, then this is when Nehemiah began to pray that prayer in his earnest, seeking of what was going on in Jerusalem, and began to beseech God for something to happen. Now, when you turn into chapter 2, chapter 1 was that prayer that we read part of in our devotional yesterday. When you begin chapter 2, it says, early the following spring in the month of Nisan. Now, that is March, April on our calendar. I believe that, yes, March, April on our calendar. So, we're looking at a 3 to 4 month period of time that Nehemiah was praying and seeking God for the welfare of Jerusalem and his people. So it's during the 20th, I'm reading again now in the verse, in that first verse of chapter 2. During the 20th year of King Artaxerxes' reign, I was serving the king his wine. I had never appeared sad in his presence, so the king asked me, why are you looking so sad? You don't look sick to me. You must be deeply troubled. Then I was terrified, but I replied, long live the king. How can I not be sad? For the city where my ancestors are buried is in ruins, and the gates have been destroyed by fire. The king asked, well, how can I help you? So here's the open door. And listen to how the response comes from Nehemiah. With a prayer to the God of heaven, I replied. Love that. You see, Nehemiah wasn't speaking from his flesh. He wasn't talking about what his desires were. He was like, oh God, let me speak for you right now. And listen to what he says. I love this, man. If it please the king, if you are pleased with me, your servant, send me to Judah to rebuild the city where my ancestors are buried. Man, do I love that. Church, I pray that we would own that today. You see, most of us, well, I'm not going to say that. I'm sorry. Let's erase that. Let's just say that oftentimes we're asking God to do something and we're waiting for God to supernaturally make things happen. And here's Nehemiah's reply after he's been praying for months. God, do something. God, do something. And the door opens up and he's like, send me to do it. I love it, man. He's like, let me be the one that you use to make this happen. Send me. I pray today that you would have that heart as we pray for revival, a move of God. I pray that you would volunteer and say, God, send me, use me, let me be your hands and feet to accomplish this incredible work of the kingdom. Let's be his church.